Hello students and welcome to your English language class. Today in this class we'll continue learning about the rules of reported speech. Now in the last class we were learning the rules for the conversion of statements. So let's take up rule number 3, changes in the tense of the verb in the reported speech. So if the reporting verb is in the past tense, the tense of the verb in the reported speech is changed into the corresponding past tense. That is, if let's say for example the statement or the direct speech is in present indefinite, so the indirect speech will change into past indefinite. Okay. And if the reporting verb is in present continuous, then in indirect speech it will change into past continuous, and likewise for present perfect will change into past perfect, present perfect will change into past perfect, and continuous will remain in continuous, and past indefinite will change into past perfect, and past continuous into past perfect continuous. Okay, like for example, is MR will change into was or verb, and has have will change into had, was were into had been, and auxiliary verb will change into would, shall into should, can into could, may into might, and conditional into conditional perfect. So we'll be taking up certain examples for this so that it will become more clear to you. And there is a note given here, must changes as. So if in the direct speech, if you find must in the statement, then how you are supposed to change it? First is when indicating a prohibition, permanent rule, command, advice, intention, must will not change. So first thing you will do is you will just read the statement and you will make out whether it's a prohibition or a permanent rule, a command, an advice, an intention. So if it is so, then you will not change must into anything else. And second is when indicating necessity or compulsion, must is changed into had to for present or immediate necessity, and would have to for future necessity. So अगर हम must को as a compulsion या necessity की तरह treat कर रहे हैं या sentence में treat किया जा रहा है, then अगर present के लिए यूज़ कर रहे हैं तो had to, ठीक है, present या immediate necessity के लिए had to, और अगर future necessity है then would have to. Okay, so keep this thing in mind. Next is exception to rule 3. If the reported speech expresses some universal truth or habitual fact or some characteristics, the tense of the verb is not changed. Okay, so अगर reported speech जो आपके inverted commas में या quotation marks में जो आपको words दिए हुए हैं, if they are stating some universal truth या किसी की habits के बारे में वहाँ पे बात हो रही है, then you will not change the tense of the reported speech. Okay, like for example, our teacher said man is mortal. So that's a universal truth. So इसका जो indirect speech में format वो कैसा होगा? Our teacher said that man is mortal. You won't say that man was mortal. No, that's a truth. That's a universal truth. That man is mortal. We all are mortal. Okay. So if we talk about habits, he said to me, I walk daily in the morning. So that is one of his habits. So we will not change the tense of the reported speech here. I told that he told that he walks daily in the morning. Okay, you won't say he said that he walked daily in the morning. You will just say he said that he walks daily in the morning because he is doing that out of habit. Now characteristics. He said, okay, अगर आप किसी चीज़ की characteristics को depict कर रहे हैं, then also you won't change the tense of the reported speech. Like for example, he said gold is one of the most useful metals. So that's again, it's a characteristic of gold. So you won't just change the tense here. He said that gold is one of the most useful metals. You won't write he said that gold was one of the most useful metals. So these things you have to make out yourself. You have to judge whether to change the tense or not. first of all you have to find out whether the reported speech has certain kind of universal truth or habit, or if it is talking about the characteristic of something, then you won't mess with the tense of the reported speech and you will let it be. ठीक है, उसको चेंज नहीं करेंगे आप। अगर आपके जो रिपोर्टेड स्पीच में अगर आपको लगता है कोई यूनिवर्सल ट्रुथ है, हैबिट है, या कोई कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स डिपिक्ट किए गए हैं किसी भी चीज़ के। फाइन। नाउ रूल नंबर 4, चेंज इन द पर्सनल प्रोनाउंस इन द रिपोर्टेड स्पीच। अगर पर्सनल प्रोनाउन यूज़ हो रहे हैं रिपोर्टेड स्पीच में तो हम उनको कैसे चेंज करेंगे वेन एवर वी आर कन्वर्टिंग द डायरेक्ट स्पीच इनटू इट्स इनडायरेक्ट फॉर्म। फर्स्ट थिंग इज प्रोनाउंस ऑफ द फर्स्ट पर्सन in the reported speech of the direct form are changed into the indirect form to the person of the subject of the reporting verb. Like for example, he said I am not guilty, so he said that he was not guilty. Obviously जब हम बात कर रहे हैं he की कि he अपने बारे में कुछ बता रहा है, that person okay, जो pronouns of the first person अगर I यूज़ किया गया है तो वो किस में चेंज हो जाएगा, जो पर्सन ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट है। ठीक है, यहाँ पे जो रिपोर्टेड स्पीच में आई है दैट इज़ द फर्स्ट पर्सन, प्रोनाउंस ऑफ द फर्स्ट पर्सन, वो किस में चेंज होगा, जिस जो भी पर्सन है हमारा सब्जेक्ट में या रिपोर्टिंग वर्ब में। सो वील नॉट राइट आई हेयर, वील राइट ही सेड दैट ही वॉज नॉट गिल्टी। you won't say that he said that I am not guilty, you will say he said that he was not guilty. ओके क्योंकि ये बात किसने कही थी, ये बात उसने कही थी कि मैं गिल्टी नहीं हूँ, तो उसने कहा वो गिल्टी नहीं है। दैट्स हाउ यू राइट इन हिंदी, राइट? सो यू विल से ही सेड दैट ही वॉज नॉट गिल्टी। नेक्स्ट इज प्रोनाउंस ऑफ द सेकेंड पर्सन। अगर यू यूज़ हो रहा है रिपोर्टेड स्पीच में, लाइक यू आर राइट, यू आर रॉन्ग और वॉट एवर, सो यू विल यूज़ person of the object of the reporting verb. He said to me you are right. उसने मुझे कहा, उसने ये बात मुझे कही, so हम इसको कैसे बोलेंगे, he told me that I was right. okay? तो आपको डायरेक्ट स्पीच को सबसे पहले पढ़ना है, समझना है कि उसमें किसके बारे में बात हो रही है, देन ओनली यू विल चेंज द टेंस ऑफ द वर्ब ऑफ द रिपोर्टिंग वर्ब, या रिपोर्टेड स्पीच का टेंस आप तभी चेंज करेंगे, और उसमें जो पर्सनल प्रोनाउंस यूज़ हो रहे हैं उनका भी आप ध्यान रखेंगे कि ये किसके बारे में बात हो रही है यहाँ पे। ओके, नाउ थर्ड इज़ प्रोनाउंस ऑफ द थर्ड पर्सन, लाइक ही, शी, दे, ऑल दीज आर थर्ड पर्सन। सो अगर शी है जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल, तो वो किस में चेंज होगा, अगर थर्ड पर्सन की बात हो रही है, प्रोनाउंस ऑफ द थर्ड पर्सन इन द रिपोर्टेड स्पीच रिमेन अनचेंज्ड, लाइक आई सेड टू हिम शी इज़ वेरी क्लेवर, सो आई टोल्ड हिम दैट शी वॉज वेरी क्लेवर। अगर थर्ड पर्सन की बात हो रही है तो हम उसको चेंज नहीं करेंगे, वील जस्ट लेट इट बी। ओके, रूल नंबर 5, द वर्ड्स इन द रिपोर्टेड स्पीच एक्सप्रेसिंग नियरनेस आर चेंज्ड इनटू वर्ड्स एक्सप्रेसिंग डिस्टेंस। लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अगर डायरेक्ट में नाउ है तो इनडायरेक्ट में देन हो जाएगा। हियर बिकम्स देयर, टुडे बिकम्स दैट डे, yesterday becomes the previous day, tomorrow becomes the next day, last night becomes the previous night, this becomes that, these becomes those, ago becomes before, and tonight becomes that night, and thus becomes so, next day or next week becomes the following day or the following week. Okay, so this is how you'll change the words of nearness into words expressing distance. And there is an exception to this. If however the sense of the indirect speech is such that the act of reporting is happening at the same time and same place, there is no change in the above words. Like for example, Ruchi said this is my house, so Ruchi said that this was her house. Okay, अगर जब ये बात बोली जा रही है, इट्स हैपनिंग एट द सेम टाइम एंड सेम प्लेस, तो आप चेंज नहीं करेंगे, लाइक द वन गिवन इन द एग्जाम्पल हेयर। So I hope you have understood the rules so far. Just jot them down in your fair notebook and we'll continue learning about reported speech in our next class. Thank you for watching this video.